Let's just get one thing straight right from the top. Hacking is not about endlessly studying theory. It's not about collecting a mountain of certifications just so you feel qualified. Nope, it is not a spectator sport. The truth? It's so much more exciting. Hacking is all about action. So if you're ready to actually dive into cybersecurity, think of this as your hands-on guide to getting started. We're not going to wait for some course to tell us we're ready. We are going to start right now. But before we go any further, the single most important rule of the game: everything we talk about here is for educational purposes only. You have to hack ethically. That means always, and I mean always, with permission and within legal boundaries. Unauthorized access isn't just unethical, it's illegal. You have to respect the law and people's privacy. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get into it. So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with the core mindset, then build our foundation, assemble our toolkit, find a place to practice our skills, and finally talk about how to turn all of that into a real career. First up, and honestly, this is the most crucial part, the premise. It's all about a fundamental shift in your mindset. We're moving from just passive learning to active doing. I mean, just look at the two paths here. The old way is all about waiting, studying, just hoping you'll feel ready someday. But the hacker way, it's about taking action right now. True hackers don't wait for someone to teach them. They explore, they break things, ethically, of course, and they fail fast so they can learn even faster. The more systems you get your hands on and experiment with, the quicker you'll understand their weaknesses. All right, so you've got the mindset. Let's move on and build our foundation. Because to take action, you absolutely need a solid base of knowledge to stand on. Think of these three things as your launch pad. First, you have to get comfortable with operating systems. That's the environment you'll be operating in. Then you need to understand networking to see how systems talk to each other, because that's where you'll find weaknesses in their conversations. And finally, some basic scripting. Why? Because hackers are efficient and automating your work is key. And this table perfectly shows why you can't just pick one OS. You really want to start with Linux, because understanding how it works under the hood is fundamental for launching most attacks. But you absolutely cannot ignore Windows. It is the most targeted operating system on the planet. Learning how attackers exploit its common soft spots, like weaknesses in file sharing with SMB or remote access with RDP, that's what will make you a truly effective hacker. Okay, now that we have our foundation, it's time to build our arsenal. These are the core go-to tools that pretty much every hacker relies on. And listen, you can read manuals all day, but the best way to learn these tools is to just use them. So let's do a quick fire round of the essentials. First step, Nmap. Think of this as your digital radar. Before you can even think about attacking a castle, you need to map its walls and find the doors, right? Nmap is the tool that lets you scan a network to see what's connected, what services are running, and where the open doors might be. Next, we have Burp Suite. For anything related to the web, this thing is your Swiss Army knife. It sits between your browser and the website, letting you intercept, inspect, and even change the data that's flying back and forth. It's absolutely essential for finding flaws in modern web apps. Then there's Hydra. It is named after the mythical beast for a very good reason. When you find a login page, Hydra is basically your battering ram. It's a powerful brute force tool that can try thousands of password combinations in the blink of an eye, helping you find those weak or common passwords. Now this is Metasploit. If Nmap finds an open door, Metasploit is the set of keys that can unlock it. It's this massive framework, basically a giant toolbox just packed with pre-made attacks for thousands of known vulnerabilities. It just automates the whole process of exploiting a weakness you found. And finally, Wireshark. This is like putting your network under a microscope. It lets you capture and analyze all the tiny data packets in real time. It gives you this incredibly deep insight into how everything works and where things might be broken. Okay, you've got the mindset, you've got the foundation, and you've got the tools. So where in the world do you actually use them? Let's talk about the arena, the safe, legal environments where you can actually hone your craft. You basically have two main types of training grounds. Think of the practice labs, like Try Hack Me and Hack the Box, as your flight simulator. They're safe, controlled places where you can learn to fly by tackling challenges that feel like real systems. Then, when you're ready, you can move on to real-world hunting on platforms like HackerOne. That's where you legally hack actual companies who will pay you to find their security flaws. So how do you even get started with bug bounties? Well, don't try to find some super complex zero-day bug on your first day. Step 1, hunt for the low-hanging fruit. I'm talking about common bugs like cross-site scripting or SQL injection. Then join some beginner-friendly programs. Learn to write a really solid report explaining what you found, and you'll start to build a name for yourself. And that reputation? That leads us directly to our final section, the payoff. This is where you turn all that action and all that practice into a legitimate, high-value profession. You know, once you build a strong portfolio of things you've successfully found, a whole world of opportunities just swings wide open. Companies are desperate for skilled penetration testers, for security analysts, for consultants. Or, hey, you can go your own way and offer your skills as a freelancer. The key takeaway here is that mastering these skills isn't just a hobby. That daily grind, that's what sharpens your abilities. And it leads directly to a lucrative, incredibly in-demand career in a field that is starving for talented people. And please remember this. It is not about being some kind of born genius. It's about being relentlessly curious and just being consistent. As long as you stay hungry for knowledge and you're always trying to figure out new systems, you are on the right track. Hacking isn't something you wait to start doing. It's something you do. The entire world of cybersecurity is just sitting there waiting for you to make your move. So if you're ready to take that leap, start today. Don't wait for anyone else to tell you you're ready. Open a terminal, launch a practice lab, and start hacking. Ethically, let your skills do the talking.